Good evening, everyone, and thank you for watching the Barry Beat podcast, streaming live to 802 Scoop from the Inside Scoop Studios, Main Street, Barre, Vermont. My name is Michael Booten, and of course, we got over there Liam Hogan from Hogan Group LLC. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm obviously a tad stuffy,
A little congested.
a little congested. So I've got myself a little bit of a cold, and I'm maybe struggling with my sugar right now. So it's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
If Michael's feeling good, we know why.
Yeah. Well, my sugar usually, I was talking about it before. It's like my sugar is a tad elevated. It was, I was feeling a little off, and I'm like, man, it's probably because I'm sick. But then I looked at my sugar, and it was like 280, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not good. So yeah, a little high. So, but I think it's gone down now. I think I'm down to like 200 and something, like a little lower than.
Better.
I'm down to 196. So I'm dropping fast. So
dropping like a rock.
We'll see how fast it drops in the next hour. Oh man. So anyway, yeah. Partly the reason why is because I went down to Tasty Bites today.
Uh-oh.
And I got myself a milkshake, and that really spiked my sugar. Like really spiked it. In defense, my fault. Should have known better. But I do want to let people know that yesterday we did Michael on a Mission, and all the money that was raised goes to the VFW, and it's still going on. So if you go down to Tasty Bites, there's a little red chest there, and then you just stuff money in, and it will go to the VFW. We raised yesterday about $312. So nice. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up. We were busy, and I am not really good at serving.
Uh-oh.
It is a job that I am very bad at.
Do you think you've gotten better as you've done it, though?
Yeah, a little bit, but I definitely, it's not an easy job.
Yeah.
Like I do that for 2.5 hours, because usually I don't wrap it up until like 9:30, 10. But it's not easy. That's not an easy job. And I only do it for 2 hours as a donating my time for charity. But if that was like a full-time job, that would be like horrendous on me. I mean, I'm sure you get used to it, but let me just tell you, if you go to a restaurant and you treat your waitress or waiter like crap, you are the bad person.
Yeah.
Okay. It's even if the waitress or waiter is bad, they're having a rough day, give them some grace. Because that's not an easy job. That's a super hard job. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that.
Yep.
And so what's really cool, though, we're looking at for the weather this week. I'm really stoked, but very sad at the same time. So the beginning of the week, suck. All right. So we got tomorrow 63 degrees, which is nice, but it's breezy with showers. And on Tuesday, 64 highs, scattered showers, because, it's Vermont. And Wednesday, more scattered showers, because it's Vermont. And that's 68 degrees on Wednesday. So we're getting pretty nice and warm. And then on Thursday, likely showers, because it's
70.
No, it's Vermont. What the heck? It's Vermont. Yeah, but it is going to be 70 degrees.
70.
And then Friday, it's going to be 70, turning drier. So hopefully we won't have any showers on Friday.
Get your shorts out.
Get the shorts on. Yes. And
maybe an umbrella.
I don't wear shorts.
What?
I don't wear shorts.
No.
If
I didn't wear shorts, I would drown in my own sweat in the summer.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. The only time I wear shorts is at home. I will not wear them out in public. I don't want people to see my ugly legs. I wear culottes.
Wear what?
Oh, there's a funny story behind that we shall not talk about that tonight. Anyway, and so Saturday, 74 degrees, and Sunday next week, and that's going to be warm and some sun. And then Sunday, possible showers again, 59 degrees. And then Monday, 51 degrees, cooler. Doesn't look like there's going to be much, rain then. But I can't ride my trike yet because my motor's broken.
Right.
I am so unhappy about that.
Do you have to get a new motor?
I did. So the motor is at my house, but they also ordered a controller.
Yep.
Because my motor's broken twice now. So I think they think that it might be the controller, whatever that is. And the Onion River Outdoors, I had scheduled a time for me to bring the trike down there to have its maintenance done because they have been phenomenal. And anybody that's watching and listening, if you need bike work done, go to Onion River Outdoors. Super thankful. I had some issues with my trike last year, and I went, other places, and they wouldn't work on it. So I called them up, and they were like, "Yeah, bring it down. We'll take care of it." And even this time, I had to schedule for maintenance because it's the beginning of bike season.
Wow.
And I scheduled it. And I'm like, okay, I'll bring it down on the 14th. And then I called them last week and said, listen, my trike is, the motor broke again, so I have to have that done, and I'm going to ask that you guys do that as well. And they're like, yeah, not a problem. Listen, once you get that stuff, you bring it down. We'll make it work. That's customer service, and I really appreciate it. I think it's Jason from the Onion River Outdoors down in Montpelier. So I'll be putting my trike in the truck and bringing it down there and dropping it off once I get the other device.
There you go.
Which is being shipped through Yenhua, whatever that is.
Know exactly where that is.
Yeah. It's coming from China. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's coming from China. And it's finally being put into the USPS system. I think today it was put into the USPS. It was being shipped out of some shipping company in China. I had to go to AI and ask to see whether or not it was safe to use it. I was sketched out by it. But this last week, it was pretty cold.
It was?
It was like seriously chilly.
Yeah.
Guess what I had to do?
I had to put on a sweatshirt.
Well, yeah, you had to put the sweatshirt on. I had to use my car starter that I got from Yipes. So
it was really chilly.
It was still useful. I'm not going to use it this week. I'm not going to have to use it this week, but
I had to put it on my butt warmers a couple times in the morning. Yeah.
I hate those heat seated. You can get those installed down at Yipes too. I do not like heated seats. I think we've had this conversation.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, no, thank you. There's no city council this week, and
that's boring.
Yeah, do you know if there's select board?
I don't.
I'm going to replace you. Yeah. I'm going to replace you. Just so you know, I'm going to replace you.
Who are you going to replace me with?
I don't know. I think I'm going to reach out to Dave Susie to see if he wants to do it, because I need to find somebody that's going to actually give an update on the select board. I'm going to replace you. That's okay. Moving on. I don't know if there's a CVCC, so someone's going to have to replace me. There's no board meeting and there's no city council meeting. I did check those.
Wow.
But
we stink.
Yeah, you do. I actually went and looked at the BUUSD and the city council. You have one job. You have one job, Liam. One job. All right. So I do want to talk about the BUUSD budget because, we had the whole, get out the vote thing last week, and I think it was borderline electioneering, and people can say, no, that's not true, but yeah, it is. So anyway, they ended up passing something that was way scaled down. so that it's not, it's just a robocall of like the superintendent saying, hey, get out and vote. That's fine. You know, is it targeting a specific populace? Yes, but I don't I don't know if it's going to have the intended impact that they want. I am concerned that because I think they're doing the get out the vote for caregivers, which are parents and guardians and, you know, foster parents, all that. And I think they're thinking that their vote is going to push it over, and I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Because if you're unhappy with the school system and you have a kid in the school system, you might not support the budget. But you know, so I don't know. But they did send out, they did create their flyer. And so I just want to give folks some information about the budget. And something that, you know, people need to understand with the budget that we make here in the city and in the town, BUUSD, what we do here does not have a significant impact on your taxes because it's a statewide funding system. So, like, you think that, well, if we drop it $5,000, it's going to go down, you know, my taxes are going to go down. It's not how it works. And I get that, you know, it's frustrating to see your taxes go up, but that has way more to do with state funding formula than it does your local school boards. And it's really frustrating. So the first budget that we went through, the process was we went for level programs. We didn't want to, you know, add new services on. We were just status quo. And that's what we did. And it caused a 3.36% increase in the budget. But that equated to like a 13% increase in taxes. So it just goes to show you that it's not connected. And in order to get it down to a 0%, you'd have to cut like $5 million from that budget. And let me tell you, when you start taking out like a machete to the budget and like $5 million, you're going to have an impact on what services are offered to the children in Barre City, in Barrytown, sorry. But what the school board landed on was a new proposed budget, which is 2.73% over last year's budget. And it's an increase. The increase is where we get kind of sketchy, right? So Barrytown, super easy. We're not going through a reappraisal in Barrytown.
Yep.
You're looking at, for a $100,000 house in Barrytown, about $152 extra annually. For 200, it's 305. So just think, you know, 150 per 100,000. Barre City, we don't know because of the reappraisal. But I don't know who approved this, but they put on there the difference in Barre City. And it says, there's like the little 2 stars that says, you know, Barre City is in the process of a property assessment. So these numbers are estimates. It says that it's going to be a difference of 345 going down, which is not true. Just for clarity, there's no way in hell your taxes are going down $345 in Barre City for a $100,000 house. I promise you that is not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. It's a bad estimate. They didn't even the numbers were not even good that they were using, because there's the assessor came in and told us that there was going to be like a 60% increase, right? They're saying that what they're seeing is an increase of 60% on your average houses. And that has an impact on how much you pay. Your tax rate's going to go down, but you're still going to pay.
Yeah.
You're still going to pay.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know a lot about education funding, but I know more than the average bear. Based on, you know, the average increase of what your assessed value is going to be, you're looking at probably between $100 to $200 increase. So about 150 per 100,000, right? Which is the same thing as Barrytown.
Yeah.
It's really, I'm very disappointed that they sent that out. I'm very disappointed. That would not have been sent out if I was chair, because I would have been like, no, you're not sending that out. I would have immediately said no. Not that I would have any control over that, but, you know, somebody needed to
Say,
pump the brakes. We shouldn't do that.
No.
But again, you know, you got to understand that what you do on the local level, it's far more impact on the state level. It's not, you know, it's frustrating. It's why we need a foundation formula. This way, everybody knows what they're getting for the year, and you can't, you know, you're not sitting there with situation where you don't have money, or it's either you got the kids or you don't. And if you don't have the kids, you don't need the money.
Right.
And I know that some people will say, yeah, well, we lost a lot of kids last year. Yeah, we lost a lot of weighted kids because of the formula.
Yeah.
And it's just, education funding is so screwed up. It's why we need a change.
But you're working on that, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
working on that. I'm not really working on it. Phil Scott is, and the education committee is, although they pale. Man, it's going to be fun. Phil Scott's pretty dead set on it needs to be fixed. So I'm hoping that he will carry us over the finish line and get us to fix this. It needs to be fixed. I mean, this shouldn't be a problem. We should, you know, if there was a foundation formula, we wouldn't be having these problems.
Yeah.
We just wouldn't. It would be standard across the board. You know, everybody is getting this percentage increase, and that's just the way that it needs to be. Of course, then you throw in common level assessment, and
Oh, geez.
you know, that just like screws
Yeah,
everything up.
that's-
One of these days, we'll understand education formula, the funding formula.
One would hope.
One. Liam's like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. That's okay. Just so for folks that know, so folks know, budget informational meeting is May 7th at
Coming right up.
5:30 at the Spalding High School library. So make sure you get there, and then rag on the board for putting out information about negative $345. No, I'm just kidding. Go and ask questions about the budget.
And ask them if your taxes are really going to go down.
Yeah, no, they're not going to go down. But you know, again, if you vote no, I'm not. Hey, you know what? I get it. No matter how you vote, just understand why you're voting the way that you're voting. You know, and just know what's happening, right? Like, understand that, you know, the foundation formula needs to happen, and understand that, you know, in order to get a 0% increase in our budget, or not our budget, but our taxes this year, we're looking at a $5 million decrease in the budget. And that does have impacts, right? That has impacts on our kids. And so it's easy to say that, you know, I want a 0% increase. And it's also easy to say, oh, it's only just this amount that you're paying extra. But, you know, it's not easy, these decisions. They're not easy. It's not easy to decide to vote for. It's not easy to decide to vote no. It's all difficult. These are all difficult conversations that you have to have with internally. But do know that, there is information out there. So anyway, and May 12th is the voting day, Barre Municipal Auditorium, of course, and the Barrytown Elementary School for May 12th. Do you have any questions?
Nope. Isn't that don't we vote in the statewide primary then too?
No, that's in August. But the municipal votes are also happening then too.
Gotcha.
So there's quite a few people. I think Bob Nelson is up. He's running against somebody like Adam Kay or something like that. I can't remember who it was. Bob Nelson is amazing, and he should get reelected. That's all I have to say about that. Yeah, I'll give you a list. So there's my 15-minute budget discussion that
there we go.
People are going to get angry because I didn't
fully
endorse. I know. Well, I'll get canceled for not fully endorsing the budget or fully downing the budget. I'm just letting. Well, that's where you are. Okay. I'm not saying where I am because I'm my biggest problem is the information. Like, that's the biggest frustration point for me. But I understand, although I don't think, well, whatever. Again, if I want a 0% increase in taxes, it's going to be like $5 million. And that's just not something I feel very comfortable with.
What's the total budget amount?
57 million.
Oh, so we could stand to lose $5 million.
Okay. No.
we can find $5 million in there somewhere.
I'm gonna go on the record and say no. That's probably not the best idea. Moving on from the budget before Liam gets canceled. Governor Scott has appointed former state senator and current select board member David Soucy to fill the House seat vacated by Topper McFawn, ensuring the Washington Orange District maintains representation. Soucy brings prior legislative experience to the role. He was a senator down in Rutland, I believe, and stepping in at a time when key issues like education reform and property taxes are front and center at the State House. So congratulations to David Soucy. So
will he take on Topper's committee assignments and all that?
Yep, he's already taken on Topper's assignments, and he's a really nice guy. We posted on 802 Scoop. I didn't show the actual swearing in. It was just the pictures, I believe, that we shared. Or maybe I didn't. I don't remember. But either way, it was pretty cool. And then they did the Karen Berner says, "Go Liam." And then, we did the seating ceremony. He's a really good guy. So Barrytown has got some good representation up there. That's for sure.
Thanks, Karen.
House Education Committee is considering a bill to standardize how schools respond to immigration enforcement, aiming to reassure families and keep kids in the classroom amid growing fears. The proposal would create uniform statewide rules limiting what schools can share and when federal agents can enter school grounds.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. So the bill is S227, and it would prohibit schools from collecting or sharing students' immigration status. I didn't even know that we like collected that.
Do we collect that, and are we sharing that with other people
I feel like that's not something
that we should be doing?
that we would do.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's something
it-
that we don't do.
Is your
as it
immigration
is.
status a requisite to if you can go to school here or not?
I don't know, but one could argue the fact that maybe we shouldn't be paying for education of people that are not citizens.
That's true.
That's a legitimate argument,
Yep.
just for the record.
Yeah, that's
But
true. But
I also don't know if our schools should be collecting that information. I
yeah,
don't
that
know.
seems kind of like a question you don't need to be asking.
It does. I'm not confident that they need to know that. I don't know how that helps, but I'm also not a school administrator.
Me either.
I will say that I did some, preliminary research on this, and apparently ICE does not go into schools anyway. It's one of the protected statuses, protected areas.
Nice.
So I don't think there's a problem, to my knowledge.
So if you're watching this and you're not here legally, just go to a school. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, back in the old days where churches and, you could you do something bad and you go to a church for sanctuary. I don't know if that's how it works.
It's not the Hunchback of Notre
But
Dame
it's
kind of
my
thing.
understanding
Yeah.
that they don't do ICE activity near those protected areas.
Hmm.
And churches are not churches, but schools are one of the protected areas, which makes sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
whether or not somebody is illegal, you are traumatizing kids in that school if you see that. Granted, people could say, well, when there's a different type of an arrest, there's when there's an arrest for drugs, there's traumatization, right? Oh man, I don't even want to go down that route. But the point is that, I don't think ICE actually does that. So
I have
We'll
yet
see.
to see an ICE agent. So
you haven't seen an ICE agent before?
have you?
No.
Not in person. I mean, I've seen them on the
I
news.
think I think years ago, we had someone that lived here that was.
Hmm.
I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure years ago, like really long time ago.
I see Border Patrol all the time.
That was probably what it was. It was probably border control.
Hmm.
But oh well. Anyway, so we'll see. Is that bill will probably go through. It didn't sound like it was that big of a deal. It was a big deal though?
No.
A Burlington child care center, Frog and Toad Childcare,
What a name.
has permanently shut down after a state investigation uncovered repeated physical abuse of children, sending shockwaves through the families and the community. The findings include disturbing allegations of staff harming kids and failing to report it, with the case now moving toward potential criminal charges. That's a weird name.
Frog and Toad?
Frog and Toad. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't there like a book?
Maybe.
Frog and Toad book?
It's probably back in your time, man.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, no. It was investigation found incidents of staff kicking, throwing, and improperly restraining children. That's terrifying. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? You send your kids to a daycare and that's happening.
Not cool.
I want pictures. I want not pictures of I want pictures of the people so that we know who they are.
There you
Oh
go.
my goodness. I gotta clarify that. I want pictures
like,
of the
where-
people. You're hitting kids, you should probably get outed online. That's
Get
not very nice
jailed.
of me, but oh well. This one you'll like. You'll like this one. Because it kind of like you have some history here.
Uh-oh. Liam has history now.
Yeah, this is also in Burlington.
Yeah.
Burlington firefighters lived up to the classic stereotype, rescuing Nutmeg, a calico cat, stuck in a tree and safely bringing it back down. The incident is a reminder that while they handle serious emergencies, sometimes the job is about helping the community in small and furry ways.
Nice.
Really? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it nice? Cat should have stayed up there. It got up there, it can get down.
Especially if Nutmeg was pretty high up. You know, the old 80-year-old lady needs her cat or cats.
This is not a knock on the fire department. This is totally a knock on cats. I hate cats so much. Should have left that cat up there. When I had Fosco, you never met Fosco. He was my other dog. Loved cats in a special way, like eat. Wanted to eat them. Chased my niece's cat. He got out of the Jeep, and I was down in Virginia, and he charged after the cat. Cat went straight up the tree. It was probably about 50 or 60 feet up. And we just watched him there. We went inside. Cat came down. Cat can come down.
Yeah.
You know? But good for the fire department.
It was good. And good for the probably 80-year-old cat lady who got her cat back.
It was probably a kid. That's Nutmeg. It was Nutmeg. It was probably a baker.
Maybe. Be funny if it was an 80-year-old crazy cat lady.
Do you have a problem with crazy cat ladies?
No. I just think it would have been funny.
You find crazy cat ladies funny?
Yeah.
Liam's getting canceled on the crazy cat lady thing. Have you ever rescued a cat?
No.
No? You know what's a lot of fun? Washing cats. I love watching videos of cats getting a bath. I'm not going to lie. That's totally
weird.
true. Have you ever done it?
No.
It's well worth it. They're just like wet, soggy cats, and they're just.
You've ever seen a bald cat?
Yeah, they're the Finks cats. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, they look gross. Phil Scott's return to office policy is in legal limbo after the Vermont Supreme Court declined to immediately intervene in the dispute, leaving a lower labor board ruling in place that blocks the mandate for now. The case centers on whether the state improperly imposed a 3-day in-office requirement without negotiating with unions, and with no quick resolution, thousands of state employees are left in uncertainty as the legal battle continues. Comments?
Only one.
What's that?
Go back to work.
Supreme Court denied the administration's request to pause the labor board ruling. Yeah, and
Just it's ridiculous.
It's 8,000 employees.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I
think we said last week we would not be having this conversation if COVID hadn't happened.
Correct. We would not be having this conversation had not been for COVID. I mean, it's 8,000 state employees are affected. You know, I would have I done the rollout that Phil Scott did? Probably not. I wouldn't have done that rollout, only because it's much better to like ease people into things. My company that I work for, maybe the company that I work for, they did like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. We're up to 4 days. I'm waiting for the 5th day hammer to come down. And I'm okay with it, just because I think, I think we're so much in need of the connection and the interpersonal relationships.
As much as I hate getting up at the ass crack of dawn to go to the office, taking the dog out, getting in the car, making coffee, all this stuff, when I get there, it's nice. You go, you get in a staff meeting, you're drinking your coffee, you have some laughs. I eat lunch out more than I probably should. It's nice to be in an office. I don't know. I like it. I think everybody should go to the office. I think everybody should eat at Yellow Mustard because it's great.
You know who else agrees with that?
Who?
Karen. She hasn't posted it yet. I don't know if she's watching, but if she's watching, she's probably typing right now. Go to work.
Go to work. I'm with you, Karen.
There's quite a few people that are in that that camp. That's for sure. The board said that Scott's administration will also need to make all affected employees whole through reimbursement for any monetary losses caused by return to office policy. So like daycare, gas. I mean, that to me is like way crossing the line. Like if your employer calls you back into the office, you don't automatically get, although they're saying it's because they went against the union contract, which I don't know anything about the union contract.
I want a copy of this union contract.
You can get one. You can do a FOIA. You can do a FOIA. We do get a lot of comments though that were posted on that post, which I will now read a few. Shannon Ray Ann, some employees who work for the state think this is ridiculous too, but and Karen says so many thoughts, just so you know. Some employees who work for the state think this is ridiculous too, but for all of the other ones, go to work, not at home like the rest of us have to. We all have to pay for our own gas to get to work, so do you. No more sitting at home watching your kids, watching others' kids, drinking beer, getting dinner ready, etc. Time to work. And I'm not going to say that that's the case. I do think when I hear any comments about, I can't go into the office because of my kids, that is completely dead to me. Like, that's not a reason. Because you shouldn't be, if you can't go into the office because of your kids, that means you're watching your kids, right? Unless your kids are at that special age where you don't ever have to talk to them. If they're like 7 years old and, you can let them just watch TV out in the whatever. Karen says, no on the daycare reimbursement, no on the reimbursement for travel. She has very strong opinions about this. Trust me, she has very strong opinions. She has been pro coming into work since April 2020.
Love Karen. Go Karen. Vote for Karen.
I would vote for Karen. Oh, that makes me think. And then Barbara Milton says, this is ridiculous. It's normal to work in the office. Another comment here was, the Labor Relations Board does not run the state. They want reimbursement for costs to commute to work to the office again. The cost they used to pay, like everyone in the world, the cost they haven't incurred for some years now. So there's definitely some really strong opinions on this. And I'll say what I've said before, right? Like, I understand, the desire to work from home. I get it. But I also understand that when your boss tells you to come in, you have an option. Your option is either go in or you don't. And there's consequences to not going in.
I was just going to say, usually if you don't go in, he's not your boss anymore.
Correct. Correct. And I think
usually he's doing this.
Yeah. Sayonara. And Karen just messaged me too. Because she knows what I was gonna ask her to do. But yeah, it's I do feel bad for the people that want to work from home, but you know, and if there is something in the contract that you're supposed to negotiate it, that's a different story, right? That should be negotiated. However, if it's not in the contract and it's just because of COVID we sent you home and Phil Scott wants you to come back in, I kind of feel like
You're gonna be driving to Montpelier pretty soon.
you're gonna be driving to work.
Like the rest of us.
Ooh, you have you have a very nasty little response to that. I'm way more nicer than you. Someone's going to be getting the pitchforks and coming after you.
I saw someone had the pitchfork at Ace Hardware the other day.
Both that picture of me and Tess, we both go into the office. State officials are recommending over $1 million in flood recovery grants, but none of it is going to Barre. As all of the city's applications were rejected, the funding is instead headed to Montpelier and Plainfield for major housing and infrastructure projects, raising questions about how recovery dollars are being prioritized across flood impacted communities.
Maybe Montpelier can slide us a little extra money.
Well, I mean, they should. I mean, there's I think there's $4.2 million left in the bucket. I don't know what happened. Barre submitted applications and they were not selected. If any community needed the help, it would definitely be Barre. And I appreciate Montpelier also got hit. Montpelier has rich people living there, okay? I'm just saying. Like the people in Barre that got hit with the flood are people that can't afford to do the work on their buildings. And it's very unfortunate. And it looks like North End is going to get another hit, right? And they just can't catch a break. It's very sad. I reached out to ACCD about it because I'm like, what the heck happened? And because it just makes sense. Like, give us the money so we can raise people up, get them into their homes. That's the most important thing. But we'll see.
And then more rain coming tomorrow.
Because it's Vermont.
But nobody's ever leaving.
What?
What?
Nobody's ever leaving?
No. We like to complain about it being Vermont, but we'll never leave.
Oh, a lot of people are leaving. A lot of people have left. I've seen the videos, the comments. I used to live in Vermont. I moved to Tennessee. I'm like, oh. A lot of it has to do with the crappy policies that we pass in Montpelier.
If I was ever going to move somewhere, it would be to Florida, and I'd live on the Space Coast and watch all the rockets take off.
Do you want to talk about that now?
Do we have something where we're talking about rocket ships?
I mean, we can. Okay. Artemis 2, freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I saw Glenn Brummer. He posted about it. How he was there for the first, Apollo missions, and he remembers them. And I don't, obviously, and you sure as heck don't.
I only ever saw the space shuttle.
You don't even remember like Challenger. So a whole generation traumatized.
What year was Challenger?
1989.
Yep, that was.
If Karen's still watching, she remembers what she was doing when Challenger happened. That was, and for folks that are too young that are watching, Challenger was the rocket ship that blew up back in the 80s, and they were playing it in schools because the teacher was on it.
Right.
And yeah, so whole generation traumatized. But that being said, so this new space thing, right? Like Artemis 2, freaking amazing. And I'm like super excited, you know. They went up, they went around the moon, they were furthest away from the Earth any human has ever been, except for when they've been picked up by the aliens and probed. So
Don't think that happened.
you never know. But no, I don't believe in aliens, folks. Or do I? Anyway, so they came around and they went back and they splashed down, right? Just like is so awesome. Just you know, these 4 people are just like flying in this very confined space. Like I would kill somebody. Bless them. And I think their toilet plugged up or something like that.
They had some problems with the
Which
toilet.
I can completely understand that. I mean, if I was going through space, I would definitely have some issues too.
And it's
But no,
not like you can go
it was-
pee outside.
no, I mean, it was a mechanical issue, but it's, I mean, it's just so awesome. We're going to see in our lifetime people on the moon again, and not just on the moon, but like establishing a base there.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, America. That's all I can think of is America. We've been to the moon and we're going back again. Don't even try to screw with us. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, China can go up there and do its little rover on the moon. We've been there. But, you know, since you're like strutting, we'll just get back up and we'll go there again.
Mm-hmm.
You know why?
And they
Because
took-
we're Americans.
They took pictures of the Apollo 11 landing site today.
Yeah, which did happen, contrary to a lot of people's opinions. It did
was
happen.
staged,
Did you see the comments about the Earth?
being flat.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna say we proved that theory wrong.
Yeah. And not even yeah. But the Earth, they took the picture of it and it was hazy, and
Right,
people were
it
like,
was
"Oh,
Lost its glow.
it lost its glow because it's not.
It's not a big blue ball.
It's
anymore.
all global warming."
Did you see that?
No.
Did you see that animated movie Wall-E?
Yeah.
People were comparing that to that.
Oh, I did not see that. But either way, the why it was so dingy looking was because it was at freaking night. It was at night. Like it was the light that they were receiving from the Earth. It wasn't sunlight, it was the moon's light reflecting off from the Earth. So that's the reason why it looks so dingy. So no, it's not global warming, and our seas don't look awful because of it. It's because of the light. Some people, they just, and NASA was like, no, it's the moon's
Yeah.
light, you know?
It's
It's
just,
like, I don't know what to tell you. But I will say one of the sad things about it is they didn't bring Tang up there.
yeah,
Have you ever had Tang?
Tang. The juice.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
I've had the juice.
That was a product of the first to the moon, the
Tang.
going up there and
Right.
going into outer space, the space race. That Tang was a product of that. That and Velcro.
I love Velcro.
And you wouldn't have it if it weren't for the fact that we needed to have it on
Going
the
to
space.
space.
Yep. The for the space race. It's pretty amazing.
Mhm.
I'm stoked, and I'm very excited about it. I can't wait until we go up there again. And
2028, right?
oh, I hope they bump it back. I hope they bump it back, man. I hope they bump it back.
Because now we need to figure out a lunar lander again.
Yeah. I would just, and I was thinking about it, like, they go there. Are they going to collect the stuff? Are they going to and like bring it back so that we can see it? I know they're not going to, right?
They'll probably leave it.
But that would be really awesome. Like, I would love to be able to see the American flag that has been on the moon for the last like 40, 50 years, 50, 60 years or whatever. I just,
at least take pictures of it.
Oh yeah, they've already taken pictures, right? You
From
could
above,
see
but go there and snap a couple.
Yeah, no, they should. They absolutely should. I just love it. I absolutely love this whole thing. I can't wait to hear more about it. Every time I see a video, I'm like, ooh, Artemis 2. I click. It's great. It's super excited. And people should be excited because this is such an accomplishment, right? We're the furthest we've ever been from the Earth, without the probes.
Yep.
Liam's like, I'm just not going to go down that route. It's really phenomenal. What an amazing testament of how awesome America is. That's what my thought is. And I know there was a Canadian on there, but just like Robin Williams says, Canada's like a loft apartment above an awesome party. All right, moving on to something that's not that awesome. Vermont land use regulators have denied a key permit for an access road to a proposed Essex development site tied to a potential Amazon facility. Effectively putting the entire project on hold, the decision found that the proposal didn't comply with local zoning and environmental rules, meaning without the road, the larger warehouse project can't move forward in its current form.
Almost like you're going to say data center. You might have gotten some people fired up over there.
Ooh, no, I'm not talking about data centers.
Whew.
Ooh.
That's a hot topic.
Data centers?
Yep.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so as
it's a warehouse, so nobody has to be concerned.
But I think the problem, like, I mean, I don't know what the issue is. We have to have that conversation about, do we want development? And it's okay if we don't, but we should have the conversation. Does Vermont want to have our beautiful fields? And if we do, then maybe we should like make it easier for farmers.
Right.
But instead, we're just making it harder for farmers, harder for developers, harder for everybody, except for Vermont Natural Resource Council, which is a lobbyist group hell-bent on turning Vermont into like prehistoric whatever. So that's out. Speaking about farming, Senator Peter Welch is pushing the new right to repair legislation aimed at giving Vermont farmers the ability to fix their own equipment instead of relying on manufacturers. The proposal targets modern farm machinery locked behind proprietary software, with supporters arguing it could save farmers time and money while restoring independence in the field.
I'd imagine it'd save them a lot of money.
Hmm?
I'd imagine it would save them a lot of money.
So you work in the medical area. What do you think about right to repair for medical devices? You're like, I know nothing about this.
Yeah,
so
I don't.
Nothing to say.
I don't know a lot about medical devices, but I know a lot of devices in general, especially now, Apple being one of them. It's all proprietary technology. I don't know if, well, you probably remember. Apple, when I was a lot younger, had the weird looking bar charger. And if you didn't have that, you couldn't charge your iPod or whatever. They're better now with their chargers, the USB-C. But no, proprietary technology, I think it's a big issue.
Did you ever work at McDonald's?
Yeah, I'm actually, funny story about that. I worked at McDonald's in Northern California when I was coming back from, no, I hadn't been to Hawaii yet. This was before. I I worked there, and I must have just been turning 16 or 17 anyway. And I worked there, and we were going to Hawaii, and I left. I said, see you later. The general manager at the McDonald's says, you'll never get another job at a McDonald's if you leave. I'm like, all right, see you later. Went. I've applied to, not recently, but I had applied to other McDonald's jobs around the U.S., and I've never gotten another McDonald's job since. So I like to say I'm blacklisted, from McDonald's.
Well, did you ever have to deal with the ice cream machine?
Yes, I suck at doing that.
And you can't. Has it ever broken?
Did it ever broke? And you have to wait.
You have to wait. Yeah, because you don't have the right to repair.
Right.
You have to go through a specific group, which is what's happening here, is that you have to go through a specific group to get the farm equipment repaired.
Yeah.
The Freedom for Agricultural Repair and Maintenance Act, or the Farm Act, would require manufacturers to provide parts, tools, and repair manuals. Earlier this week, tractor manufacturer John Deere agreed to pay $99 million to settle a lawsuit alleging that the company had conspired to force farmers to use its own services for repair. So I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it in our committee, Commerce and Economic Development, and I'm all on board. You should have the right to repair your stuff.
Definitely.
And you should be able to.
Definitely. 100%.
Yeah. So, and I think the bill that we're talking about is medical devices. So you should probably pay attention to it since you're in the medical field.
Medical, dental field.
Medical, same thing.
Mm.
Oh, speaking about repairing, I don't know if we're going to be able to repair this.
Not the rate we're going.
Huh?
Not at the rate we're going.
No. The U.S. Postal Service is suspending employer payments into the pension system as it faces a major cash crunch, warning it could run out of money within the next year without major reforms. The move is meant to free up billions in short-term cash to keep operations running, but it highlights just how serious the agency's long-term financial problems have become.
Well, you didn't buy those goofy cars. You might be able to afford something. Holy moly. I saw that thing driving around yesterday. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. I love Heather Slayton said, but they had plenty of money for their new platypus delivery system. For those that haven't seen the pictures, I highly recommend. Just type in new post office vehicle, and it will show you it's ugly.
Looks something right out of a cartoon.
Yeah, it does look like something out of a cartoon. But on a serious note, like this is really. So USPS net losses for 2025 fiscal year totaled $9 billion.
Wow.
Even though totaling operating revenue increased $916 million, or 1.2% due to largely its ground advantage shipping service. Net losses in fiscal year 2024 were $9.5 billion.
Not a lot of money in the mail delivering industry.
And this is actually like, and I'm going to get some heat on this from, anti-government people, but the Postal Service, that's really important.
Right. We need our snail mail.
We do. And I'm not okay with the agency warns it could run out of cash by early 2027. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That's not good.
No.
Congress, 2027 is like right around the corner, and Congress needs to do something about that. That's one of those services that I think that I don't have a problem with subsidizing. You know,
Yeah.
is it, junk mail sucks, right? Like, I get it. It sucks. But imagine not being able to send a letter. Or maybe that's what we should start doing, is start sending letters again instead of sending emails. I don't
Definitely.
know. I give money to the Postal Service at least every other year with campaign stuff.
Yep.
So it's a little concerning. I mean, it's an institution that, and on top of that, like, these are people that have been relying on this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the fact that you could lose the organization, but these are payments into a pension system.
Right.
That's a huge, bad. But anyway, we'll see what the government does.
Probably a fat lot of nothing.
Maybe they could sell their platypus vehicles.
Or maybe they'll invade Iran. Who knows?
I don't even know where the hell that came from. Moving on. After 65 years, Brattleboro is ending its unique representative town meeting system where elected residents made decisions on behalf of voters after locals narrowly decided it no longer gave enough people a voice. The town will now return to a more traditional or possibly ballot-based system, but what replaces it is still up for debate, highlighting a broader shift in how Vermont communities are making local decisions. So the way that I understand this, because Brattleboro's weird, they would elect representatives to make decisions on the local level. So think of, like, the whole community of Brattleboro didn't vote to allow 16-year-olds to vote. It was these representatives that they voted, which the problem with that type of representation is that it ended up with 16-year-olds being able to vote down in Brattleboro,
Right.
which is freaking insane.
I think we had that conversation, didn't we?
We have had that conversation.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident you shouldn't be voting as a kid, but hey, whatever. It's just me. I'm a terrible person.
I'm gonna get canceled for that.
I'm gonna get canceled. That's a good one to get canceled for.
That crazy cat lady was bad.
These people are crazy. What, 16-year-olds voting? I don't even know what to tell you. But anyway, so that apparently the system began in 1961 as a modern alternative to the traditional town meetings. Have you ever been part of a town meeting?
Yes.
No, you have?
Yeah. I was on the Chelsea select board for a while.
Oh, that's right.
I've spoken at town meeting with like
Good
a
for
microphone.
you. I have never done a town meeting, so I don't know how that works. We just do Australian ballot here.
That's boring.
It's the best way.
Chelsea's way more fun. People get up, they hand you a microphone, you say, and the select board sits at the front of the town hall. I love a good town meeting where you're all sitting in the same room, whoever shows up. I love it.
Are you going to go next year
To where?
and live stream it?
Chelsea town meeting?
Yeah.
I could.
You should. That's your job.
All right, next year. But there's no cell service in Chelsea, so.
Oh. Record it and then upload
We'll upload it. Yeah.
Live here at the Chelsea Town Hall, Liam Hogan. I am down here just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Oh, brother. Anything else? I think we've hit them all.
Did we hit them all?
I think so.
Oh, we're only 5 minutes late.
We're only 5 minutes over.
And you spent 20 minutes on the school budget.
I did spend quite a bit of time on the school budget, which I'm sure I will get lots of hate for. Because I wasn't I was just stating the way that it is.
Yeah.
Don't do stupid stuff.
That should be your bumper sticker.
It should be.
Don't do stupid stuff.
Make good choices.
There's another one.
Yeah, make good choices.
Don't do stupid stuff, and then you can be like, make good choices right underneath it. 2 bumper stickers.
That's a good
I bet
bumper
you'd
sticker.
make millions of dollars off of that. That's $1 million idea, Michael.
Do it. All right. Everyone, you have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching the Barry Beat podcast.